Hey,
All
everybody.
right.
Hi, Lewis.
Niran, how are you?
I'm good. Let's see who's in the house. I think Maureen is in the house and she's got her camera off, but I think she was dancing to the song,
Oh yeah,
knowing Maureen.
definitely.
um, how's your week been, man? Good.
Good. Very good. Busy.
I
Kicking
see.
off a little renovation. So all is well.
All right. I see Dimitri's in the house. Ajit is here. Let is here. Kelly McKinnon. Hey, if any of you are able to turn your cameras on, that is super, super helpful for both Lewis and myself. Just because we like seeing real people, we like being in rooms, and Zoom is challenging at the best of times. So, if any of you can turn your cameras on, it is so much appreciated. Thanks, Pedro. Hi, Let. Have we met before, Let? You looked a little familiar. No. Okay, Pedro, nice to see you. Ajit, thank you for turning your camera on. Dimitri, thanks, bro, for turning the camera on. All right, let's get going. So we get into the stuff. We've got a lot of things to talk about and cover today. Is that right, Lewis?
Tons, tons of stuff.
So, do you want to start sharing our slide deck while we chat? And so, what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're going to come in and out of the slide deck. We're going to have a conversation about goal setting, and it's that time of the year where we're getting ready for Christmas. But I've noticed something. I've noticed that entrepreneurs and you crazy types are already ahead. You're getting past Christmas and you are already thinking about what does 2024 look like? What do I need to change? What do I need to keep? Who do I need to become? And what do I have to crush? So start talking about what kind of properties do you need to buy? What do you have to do? Lewis, can you share the deck?
Are you able to see it?
Okay. I think
Niran, can you see the deck?
I cannot see the deck,
You cannot see
but
it.
what I will do. Hi, Kelly. I see you waving there. Good to see you. In fact, if I look away when I'm talking, it's because you all in screen. What we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can share my deck here. And it won't be perfect, but it will work. Let's try it.
Yeah, I'm Stephen having a little difficulty on my end, Niran.
Yep, no worries. I got it. There we go. Goal setting, property profile, and structure. Lewis, can you see that?
I can, yes.
Perfect. So this is what we're talking about today. And when we look at goal setting, at the end of every year, we start thinking about what goals do we want to do for 2024. But when it comes to in the thing, I find that we investors need to and want to get much more specific on how we approach not just our life and everything we want to accomplish for the next year, but what do we want our real estate portfolio to look like a year from now? So, what we would like to do is have a real conversation about how to kind of create the context for you to be able to make that decision. So our agenda today, learn how to set clear, achievable investment goals for you to align with your financial aspirations. We're going to explore some various property structures that are available. And if we have time, we'll get into some legal and tax implications of your real estate investing. Now, this is our team. We have a really wide team, and each of us are specialists in our own area. Most of you, my name is Niran Kulathungam. I am the Chief Leadership Officer for Real Estate Wealth Lab. My job really, I'm an investor. I've been in the real estate investment game for about 2 decades, and I've been in the leadership development game for about 4 decades. Lewis, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Niran. As Niran has mentioned, my name is Ioannou. I am the chief advisor at REWL. I've been in construction for 24 years, and I've spanned many different sectors in construction, from retail, commercial, residential. I've completed over $1 million in development and construction, and I've been investing for about 12 years now.
Perfect. Legal disclaimer. Please take a picture of this. Real Estate Wealth Lab does not provide investment advice, and and what you really need to do, like, don't watch our presentation and then make an investment decision. Instead, make sure that you educate yourself properly, and that you speak to licensed professionals. A couple rule events I want to just highlight. We have our members mastermind, and this is exclusively for members. Some of you will know that all three of us on this slide, Vincent, Lewis, and myself, we all coach. And what we do in this is, on the mastermind, is that we bring our members together, and our members get to show up with real problems that they are dealing with at that time, and we will solve those problems and help you articulate your next step into clarity. That's our promise to you. So if you're a member, make sure you show up. It's December 13th. Unamed. This is a conference that is sponsored by Real Estate Wealth Lab. Lewis, do you want to speak to this? Because you're really the point of the spear on this.
Absolutely. Thanks, Niran. So Unnamed is a conference that's going to be going on in January 2021 of 2024. It's going to be over a Saturday and a Sunday. It's a 2-day event that is going to be covering a lot to do with entrepreneurship and investing. It's going to be featuring a whole bunch of speakers, approximately in the area of 15 to 18 folks that are from the Ontario marketplace, that in some way, shape, or form are investing in real estate, but they also have day jobs, projects and businesses that they started on their own, but they've found out at some point on the journey that real estate is really a pivotal component in the investing journey, especially for preparing for retirement, wealth preservation, wealth creation, and all of those things. So not only are we going to be talking about investing and real estate there, but it's going to be discussions about mindset, how to break through different barriers, and how to get to the next level, not only in investing, but as individuals, because each time we move to a new level, whether we know it or not, we're becoming someone new. And that's what the conference is really about. It's to support our members and guests of the conference to help us all get to that next level.
Lewis, who should show up for this?
Anybody that's looking to break through and get to another level. If you're looking to invest, if you're a budding entrepreneur, leaving an existing corporate gig and moving towards a self-employed opportunity that you found for yourself, or if you're just struggling with something and you need some advice and you want to be around like-minded people to kind of bounce things off of, you should definitely be there.
So this is really for people that, like, if you want to be average and you're happy where you're at, don't show up. Don't come, right? But if you want to scale up, or you want to break through, if you're looking to get into a business, or you are already in a business, whether real estate related or not, in the entrepreneurial world, then show up, because I've looked at the list of speakers, and I know, Lewis, you're speaking at it. I'm speaking at it. I believe Kyle Guthroy is speaking at it.
Yes.
And we have some great speakers lined up outside of us.
It should be, Niran, it should be very exciting, because they're investors like you and I, but there's going to be other folks from different walks of careers, so to speak, that will be able to help a lot of people. So we're very excited about it.
Perfect. So let's talk about investing here, Lewis. When real estate investors, what I found is this, that when we talk about what do you want to build for the next year, the conversation that ends up happening is often, hey, I just want to buy some properties. And the ambiguity there does not allow you to move forward with clarity or with any sense of speed. So I'm going to can you see my face at all, Lewis, when I'm presenting or not?
I can, yes, you're in one of the side tiles that I
All
can
right.
see.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Here's what I find, and tell me if I'm wrong on this. Investors come to me and go, I want to buy properties. And then I'll go, well, what do you want to do? Like, and often the conversation will then go to ROI, return on investment. And return on investment is really a measure of the profitability of your investment. So for example, if you have, let's say you invested $100,000 and at the end of the year, you made $10,000. You take 10 divided by $100,000 and you have 10% return on investment. Often when I speak to investors or want to be investors, especially new ones, they will tell me things like, oh, if I could get 3 or 4% because the bank's giving me 2%, I'll be excited. At the other extreme, what I find is people come to me and go, oh, I want to make $1 million this year. I'm going to buy 3 multifamily 40-unit buildings. I'm going to have 120 doors within 1 year. Meanwhile, when I sit back and go, well, how much cash do you have? Oh, nothing. How much have you done? Nothing. Do you know what this is? And no, I'm just learning it. So between these two extremes lives our area of stretch. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Lewis is a one-word guy. He's like, yep, it does.
Well,
So let's go to cash flow.
Let me
Sorry, go ahead.
hold on. I was thinking about it, and for me, Niran, one thing I like to do to help people identify how they can move forward with something, instead of focusing on everything all at once, like the money, the people you need, or the deal, focus on one you already have and build upon that. So you can rest assured that at least you have one of the three. And when you have one of the three, then you can start to look for the second one, because you don't necessarily need all three. But if you can work and get to 2, then a JV opportunity can come in with the third opportunity.
Good point. Good point. Lewis, what are the 3 that you're speaking about?
Money, the cash for the deal, the capital, the opportunity, the property, or potential property you're looking at.
Yeah.
And then the people involved, whether that be, now the people can be broken up into 2 segments. It can be a potential partner that you may want to find, or the team that you need to put together to help you get to that point if it's a property you're purchasing on your own.
That's right. Yeah, that's a really good point. Let's revisit that in about 5 minutes, just so I don't forget the things that are important on this slide. When we look at investments, we often talk about investments in terms of cash flow and net worth increase, as well as ROI. What's interesting to me is that sometimes people want high cash flow and high net worth increase or value appreciation. I don't think you can get everything. I think you have to choose what your primary driver is. Would you agree with that, Lewis, or would you disagree?
I wholeheartedly agree, and I believe it's getting even harder, especially in markets that we're investing in. Not only is it a larger sum to put down for down payment on the property, but then your returns are lower because the property is so expensive to carry, and it's not easy to do both. So I'm finding it has to be one or the other. The best opportunities that I'm finding are on properties where you're able to create some type of equity appreciation on a property that maybe you can improve if it's in need of repair, and then refinance, not necessarily sell because the spread still may not be enough for a sale, but then to refinance and rent it out.
Yes. The other thing, Lewis, I notice is that it really depends on what stage of life you're in.
Yes.
If you're in your 20s or early 30s and this is your first property, like years ago, when I started in this 20 years ago, I wanted to leverage everything as much as possible because it was all about maximizing ROI. It was all about bringing my net worth up. And so I would leverage the property. I would put the least amount down, just make it break even, and which works great, providing that you have the interest rates are more or less stable, and you have the pockets or the cash reserves necessary if something falls apart. However, as I've gotten older, after 20 years of doing this, or almost 2 decades of doing this, here's what I've noticed. I don't want the high leverage anymore.
Right.
I want cash flow. I will take low leverage and high cash flow because it's a different type of lifestyle I'm looking for. So let's come back to what you said earlier. You talked about money and the knowledge. So the way I broke this down is I often will stop and ask people, well, if you want to start investing, what do you have?
Yes.
Right? Like, what's in your hand? There's a really old story. I think it's found in the Torah. It's found in the Bible, and it's a story that's well known about David and Goliath. And the idea is that there's this massive giant Goliath and this little kid David, and David's fighting Goliath. And who's the guy that wrote the book Outliers? Seth Godin.
Oh boy, stump me.
Oh, Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell actually mentions this in a book called David and Goliath, or Outliers. Anyway, he mentions David and Goliath, and he makes an important point. When David goes running at Goliath, Goliath asks him a very, very specific question. He says, "What's in your hand?" And it's a powerful question, because whenever people come to me and go, well, I want to do this, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do, I don't know, I need to get this, I need to get that, I will often, like yourself, Lewis, we'll pause people and we'll go, well, what do you got? Yeah. What's the starting ground?
Yes, exactly.
Now, sorry, you were going to say something.
I think that's exactly right. What foundation are you working with? What do you have existing?
And you mentioned earlier, you need money to invest in properties, or you need access to capital of some kind. Do you have the money? When we worked for Grant Cardone years ago, he would often ask us, tell us when we met people that we were selling a license program to, his first question that he would tell us to ask was, how liquid are you? Do you have the capital? Because if you don't have the capital, you've got to figure out a way to get into the game without the capital. It's a different conversation. The second thing is knowledge, strategy, and experience, really, right? Your expertise and understanding of the investment landscape. The third thing that you need, especially today, is opportunity, identifying potential lucrative ventures. Not everything that looks like a good deal is a good deal. And the fourth thing, and those three things, I think, Lewis, is what you were mentioning a few minutes ago. Did I miss something?
No, that's correct.
I want to add a fourth thing to that, and it's a big. I find that we in the investment game often forget about it, but I think it is the single highest predictor of future success. It's called confidence, the belief in your ability to make the decisions needed so that you can actually execute with speed and financial velocity. Without confidence, I mean, you and I both know, we've met so many people. They've got the money, they take courses, they know their stuff, and they can run into opportunities, but they do not take a step because confidence is lacking. That about right?
Correct. I love that last one that you added, Niran. It's the glue that binds everything together. Without it, there's no progress.
So let's come back to confidence in a few minutes. Let me ask you this. All right, so I come to you and I say, Lewis, I really want to build my real estate portfolio and I want to create a plan for this. I assume one of your first questions is going to be, well, do you have money?
Yes, that'd be a good starting point.
And let's pretend that I know very little, like most people, about the investment game when it comes to real estate. What sources, where do I need to go to find the money? What rock do I need to look under?
There's many rocks. The first one can be yourself, your employment. What do you have? What savings do you have? What RSPs do you have access to? If you're investing, there is a possibility that you may want to invest with friends and family. What friends and family can you potentially tap into to joint venture with, or ask them if they're interested in providing some funds to capitalize a property purchase? Those are a couple that I have off the top of my head.
What happens, with friends and family? I don't know why more new investors don't do this. But often when you're starting, you don't have enough cash to buy your first investment property. And people think that they're going to save enough money to one day get the investment property. The difficulty is that properties tend to appreciate faster than one's capacity to save. I don't know why two or three of you, when I say you, I mean people, you want to buy your first investment property, don't pool your resources together, right? Two or three people put their money together and go do it together. It's a great way. Now there are challenges with it because you've got three different people involved. You've got relationships and egos and money. And so it takes a certain leadership skill to be able to manage all that. But hey, that's your learning curve. What about knowledge, strategy, and where would you go to get that, Lewis?
Personally,
Especially today.
Yeah, again, multiple sources for knowledge. Start reading. That's where I started, with a lot of books on real estate. And it took me a couple of years. I started when I was very young, in my 20s. So I was not in a hurry to buy a property because I wanted to understand what I was doing before I eventually got out there to purchase a property. So I started reading. I found mentors and I found people that I wanted to emulate. So I started following them around, asking them questions. Some of them were family members. So I was able to see them at events, or family events rather. And it was possible to kind of, understand what they were doing, ask them questions about real estate, and joining real estate groups as well. It was something that I did a little later on, but networking
right
with like-minded people and investors that are looking for the same type of thing that you are. And when you start to get into groups like that, Niran, to your point in these notes, you're going to find people with different strategies, experience, and intellectual capacities other than your own. So you can start to really work with other people.
And in the Real Estate Wealth Lab on our website, we have tons of information and we can actually see how much of it is being used. Our members are not using it to the best that it can be used. There's so much. What we have is curated knowledge that's been filtered through, that's actually actionable for today's lending environment and today's investment environment. So if you're a member, make sure you get into the website, poke around, figure it out, and if you need help, just reach out to us.
A lot of time-saving tools there. Quick calculators that can help you complete calculations with the various metrics that you're going to be inputting to give you different ROIs and opportunities to see what a property might look like after a renovation, for example.
And even for opportunities, our AIR, artificial intelligent realtor.
Yeah, we had a couple live sessions this year with demos on AIR.
Yes. So all these three things can be found. The question I often ask people is, well, what's stopping you? It has to do with grit and confidence. confidence is your ability to trust in the future, that you to be. Grit, on the other side, is perseverance and determination. Confidence is what makes you stand up tall in a room and say, I got this. Grit is what makes you stand up again when you get knocked down. Make sense? So
Yes, love it.
Where would you find confidence?
For me, Niran,
I'm asking you because you're a confident guy. At least that's what the screensaver is telling me.
I've been generating it as of late, but that always hasn't been the case. I've been borrowing it from a lot of people too. People that I'm either trying to emulate, or a mentor, for example, someone that's giving me some advice. I can borrow their confidence in doing something and knowing that a question I'm asking or a path that I'm going down, him or her have done it before and they have particular results. So I'm more than likely to experience those same type of results if I'm, following the plan. So borrowed confidence and generating your own.
Okay. And when you borrow it or when you generate it, what is let me put it this way. What I've noticed, I think the idea of generating and borrowing confidence is really important. I borrow confidence from, like yourself, from others. I borrow confidence in the present moment by just stepping out and testing the waters and me doing something. So that's really generating that action that solidifies my commitment to confidence. The third area that I think that a lot of us, we kind of step over, is our history. Now, if you really want to build your confidence, take half an hour, sit by yourself and write down all the things that you have done well in the past year. We are very good at remembering what we have not done well and what we failed at, what we've dropped the ball at. And we let that drive the conversation within ourselves. But we are very poor at remembering what we have done right. I'm a firm believer that you are administratively set up to get the results you get. So when things don't work out, that's on me. But when things work out, that's on me too. And so when I started coaching, at the beginning, I found it really difficult to charge for my coaching. So the coach that was coaching me had me sit down and write 25 reasons. He told me to do 10, and I came up with 25 reasons why a client could work with me and what I would bring to that table. And when I looked at that 25 reasons, I saw it and I thought, man, this builds my confidence. So borrow from your history. Borrowing from others, Lewis, is crucial, because I'm so glad you said that. Isn't that what coaches do? Like,
Niran, I'm sorry I have to interrupt you.
Go for it.
I'm so happy that you mentioned that you feel that I'm a confident person, because people telling me that they feel I'm confident or I look like a confident individual, guess what that does? It builds my confidence, and not in a bad way or a cocky way. But if people are seeing that, then it's giving me feedback that what I'm doing and what I'm practicing is working. So I love that. That's a fourth example of confidence building.
Well, here's a hack. Whenever I'm speaking publicly, most people think that I am super confident when I speak publicly or when I'm in public. Often I've had to generate that.
Right.
But when I'm speaking in a room, I will look for one or two people that are connected to me. You'll always, even in a room of 50 people, you'll find one or two people that are super eager, that is somehow connected to you, and they're hanging on to your every word. I will use them in my talk. I will focus in on them, Why? Because they generate for me the emotion that translates into confidence for me. So, good. Anything else, Lewis, about grit or confidence?
I believe it's before you start raising the capital, before you start looking for partners, before you find the deal. That is absolutely number one for me. You have to start looking at yourself and how you want to work, what goals you want out of it, and start building up yourself personally before you start looking to build a portfolio or a business. Because as the business starts and as the portfolio starts, it's going to be much more demanding of you. So be kind to yourself and pursue things that improve your small habits, because they'll turn into bigger rewards.
Right. And, Lewis, even look at partnerships.
Yep.
Joint ventures. People come to us to joint venture with us because they borrow our confidence. We, as a REWL executive team, we borrow confidence from each other. So this brings us to partnership. So when you're setting up your goals for the next year, the question is not, should I be buying single family, multifamily? Should I buy 14 properties or one? The question is, what's in your hand? What's just outside of your reach? What can you reach for to attain? And who do you need to partner with to make that happen? Do not try and solve the 10th building problem before acquiring your second building. So who do you need to partner with? Financial resources, absolutely. Pool the money, bring it together. Knowledge and strategy, that's what we're here for. And partnerships, right? So we can structure all of that. Anything else, Lewis, before I push ahead?
No, it's perfect. Keep going.
Okay. What's next for us? Here's if you're looking at 2024 and as you're building your plan out, what I really want to do today is just have a conversation, not so that you would leave the call going, okay, I'm going to buy 2 investment properties this year. That's what newbies do. What I wanted to do was actually have a conversation about the context in which you make the decisions. So take a look at the context. Take a look at what you believe. Take a look at the money that you have, or who do you need to partner with in order to bring capital. Take a look at your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge and information. Who do you need to partner with? Who do you need to, what do you need to read? Who do you need to speak to? All of these things will result in a plan that can crystallize for you as to what will happen next. Lewis, anything from you?
I'm excited about the WhatsApp group. That's something that we're going to be putting together and kicking off potentially December, but definitely for the new year. It's going to be a great opportunity to stay closely connected with all of you in the group. It's going to offer everything that we're up to and what we're doing, what the website has to offer, and all the tools in the back end. But it's going to be a close tie that we'll be able to share different deals and opportunities in the future, so you can have a better look at what we're doing, how we're moving forward. And instead of having to go through all these emails that I know we're all bombarded on, this will be a direct line that will be able to share things and correspond all this information to you. So we'll be reaching out shortly as well to have a little chat with everyone. So excited about that.
So Lewis, let me catch up to where you're at right now. What we are talking about is, if you want to stay connected to Real Estate Wealth Lab and to us, and to help, and you want to walk with us in this journey on investing, there are 3 things that we want to make available to you. One is follow us on IG. Instagram. Stay updated, connect with Lewis, myself, and most importantly, with the Real Estate Wealth Lab. If my team could just put the link for Instagram in the chat, that would be great. Secondly, we've noticed that for our members, we want to have curated content. And if it is on Instagram, you've got to look it up, or it's got to show up on your feed to get information. And let's face it, IG is more, a flash. It's not really depth. So we have decided, really, Lewis, you're the one that was really pushing for this, and I think it's a great idea, is to have a WhatsApp group. And this will be for anybody for members and non-members. It is for a community, anybody who wants to connect with us. And in this WhatsApp group, we will be posting content that is current. The third thing I am going to offer you that I don't think we have ever done, and I'm feeling a bit scared doing this, but I don't believe we can actually give people a plan on what to do for 2024 just in one Zoom call. We can't talk about context, we can't talk about mindset, and then we can't drill down into the specific problems. So if you are watching this call and you're going, this is all great, guys, but I've got this, how do I solve my money problem? Or I've got this, how do I solve this specific problem? Here's our invite to you. If you reach out to us at info@realestatewealthlab.com and ask for our complimentary one-on-one consult over the month of December, myself or Lewis or somebody else from our team will meet with you for a consult, and we'll be able to very quickly coach and help you get clarity. Now, this is for members and non-members. From a time perspective, priority, but I believe that we can get, we've got the bandwidth, then like we're canceling things in order to get this done. So we'll jump on a Zoom call or on a phone call, and we'll have a one-on-one consult to address a specific problem that you're wrestling with, so that you can move ahead in real estate next year.
Niran,
Yes.
what did we agree on as far as the length of the consult call?
It's a 20-minute consult call.
Okay.
That's the 20 minutes. Knowing us, it sometimes bleeds over a few minutes longer, but we get a lot of results. We get a lot done. So this is not the call to come in and go, hey, how you been? What's going on? Come to me with your problem. We want to solve stuff. Okay. And if this is beneficial to you, then please just put a note in the comment, and definitely email us at info@realestatewealthlab.com. There you go.
Wonderful.
I am going to come out of my screen share. All right. Hey, JD, just saw you. Hi, Nima. You're the guys that are showing up on my screen right now. Why don't we pause here? We've got a few minutes, and let me just pause. Is there anything else, Lewis, you and I need to talk about today?
A few things that I want to wrap up with from our talk, but what do you think? Is now an appropriate time to have a little quick Q&A if anyone may have a question?
Yes. Jaydeep's got his hand up already. He's got his hand up.
All right.
All right. Can we bring him in?
Thank you, Niran and Lewis, as always, providing with so much value. And I'm excited for the Unamped conference. I just saw on the Instagram story. So yeah, help me out. Like I want to know more about it.
Absolutely. We had a quick little review of it at the beginning of this call. Might as well, we'll do one now as well. So the Unnamed Conference, it's going to be focused on investors and entrepreneurs. So if you are looking to start a portfolio, grow a portfolio, or who knows, maybe even if you're disposing of a portfolio, there'll be people there that'll be able to help you out. And what's more important than having the money or the deal or the people around, Niran was talking about it during this call, is the confidence. And at this conference, we're really going to be focused on helping people fine-tune their mindset in moving forward and develop the different tools and strategies that we all need to move forward with our investing portfolio. And it will also lend itself nicely to the businesses that we're growing, because a lot of investors are building their portfolio while building a business. So they go hand in hand.
So it's a 2-day conference, right? And that constitutes, and I saw like different like diamond tickets as well as gold tickets. So what would be the difference? Like that's what I had been like contemplating myself. And
the first 3 tickets are different. The first ticket will offer the conference itself. The second ticket will offer more of a lunch, I believe, and some other items on site. And the fourth ticket is actually a pre-event on the Friday night. So it's a private coaching session and there's a dinner involved. So on each ticket on the website or on Eventbrite, there's a tab there that you'll be able to see all the details per ticket that explains what each ticket entails. The first 3 really just have food and drink options. And the fourth one is an extra event on the Friday night.
And private network opportunity as well, right? With the speakers and all.
On the Friday night, that is correct. But there will still be networking opportunities on the Saturday, Sunday for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Louis, there's also for REWL members, is there a discount on the tickets?
Absolutely. Annalisa, do you have the discount code that we can share with everybody? If we don't have it today, then we're definitely going to be circulating it in the next few days, because I know it's going to be in conjunction with a Thanksgiving Black Friday sale that is coming up.
Perfect. Thank you. Here's what you can expect of this conference. 1, you can expect your mind to be meddled with. You're going to walk away, and I promise you, you will either leave inspired or irritated, because I plan to mess with some minds. Secondly, you will leave with clarity on what your next step possibly could be. And thirdly, you will leave with the haunting, nagging question in the back of your mind that says, am I going to do this or not? And only you'll be able to answer that question.
Right.
So, anybody else with any questions about what we've spoken about? Or
Yeah, and just while we're waiting, we have posted the coupon discount in the chat. So that is 40% off that you'll be able to take advantage of. So that is a nice discount.
yeah. Any other questions for us?
Let's see. If someone pops up their hand, we'll definitely bring you on to
Nima, I
share.
see you lifting your finger. Is that you saying you have a question or a comment, or is that you saying just going? We have no idea. Are you putting your hand up? Not yes. No. Okay.
Nima's good.
Oh, Nima's good. All right.
Niran, I know we briefly touched on the whole, taxes, estates, and title thing. But I think it might be prudent to kind of tie it into the calls that we're going to be having in the month of December with our members and non-members. This may be a good opportunity to share with them prior to that call that we're going to have with them. Maybe touch base with their accountants or lawyers or any other professionals. Then when we have that call, they'll have that much more information ready for us so we can help them untangle their problem.
Yes. Yep. That'd be very good.
So if anyone out there has something they're discussing with their lawyer or accountant, get through that conversation. So when we contact you to plan that call, you have that much more information ready to go.
Good.
Right?
All right. So in closing then, if we don't have any other questions or comments, Lewis, if you can just check the chat for me to make sure I haven't missed anything there.
Absolutely.
If you're looking at goal setting for your next year, the biggest things you got to walk away from this call with is, do I have the knowledge? Do I have the money? Do I have the confidence? And if it's no for any of those, then the question is, who do I need to partner with in order to make that happen? And thirdly, reach out to us and let's get a consult done, because we are good at helping you navigate this. So that's it on my end.
Wonderful. You know, Niran, I have one thing to add. If people are looking to reach out, and if they're looking or trying to identify who they need to help them, they need to also ask themselves who they need to become in order to get that to that next step.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Can't wait to speak to everybody. December is going to be a busy month. We won't get to everyone like in one night like Santa Claus, but we'll get through that list, I'll tell you.
Like Santa Claus. That's what we should call it. The Santa Claus parade or something like that.
Wonderful.
All right. We'll talk to you all soon. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great night, folks.
Take care.